Hey, staff, wanted to be with you via Google Hangout today, but I'm losing my voice and I'm not sure it's going to last much longer. So I wanted to capture all my thoughts right now just so you have it, and then we can kind of go from there. I plan on keeping the staff meeting relatively short today. Obviously, just had a presentation from Mike on Teacher View app, and hopefully being able to complete mobile attendance as well as even discipline write-ups, as we kind of finish the school year. And we all know this is a especially tough time of year to be working with students. A couple things I wanted to make sure I communicate as well. Discipline referral process is really important right now, and I'm not asking you to dump on Miss Klein, right now on minor situations, but just kind of wanted to review. A minor is something handled in class. There's a minor class managed as well, and then there's a major office managed, which would involve Miss Klein or Mrs. Bontheim. So just be thinking about what's major, what's minor, and certain times what is repetitive behavior. And we do our best to kind of go through the rest of the last 9 weeks or so here and put students carry our expectations, but also preserve the environment of the building as well. Depending on the student situations. Um, Scanning. I know I had sent an email out a couple weeks ago just involving scanning. I know there's apprehension and anxiety about scanning. So this is the best way to put it. The recognition of student behavior in a positive way is a small part of our MTSS PBIS. It's not the be all end all. It's 5 or 10% of it at most. But what it does is it helps improve our climate by having some consistency among our staff, being able to recognize students that are acting the way that we hope that they will act. Whether they say they want it or not, that's really irrelevant. This is part of what we do. So I am at, everyone has to participate in this. There's no other way to move forward. Is it going to automatically improve student X, Y, and Z's behavior? No, but it does have an impact on the other 90 or 95% of students that are doing what's expected. And it's nice as a positive thing to recognize, and the research is there for that. So I had some folks ask me about evaluations and whether or not the scanning is part of that. Domain 10 is professionalism. Okay, so if you're not supporting a district initiative, then obviously that's kind of an issue. Okay, so am I out to do we have to have 100 scans a week? No, but we need to participate in the recognition of student behavior and scanning the way that we decided we were going to do that. So we expect participation the rest of the way. Um, a couple other things I wanted to talk about here. Of course, trying to do it on my phone and balance it out here as well. And again, I'm not looking to like make it a scanning's the be all end all. It's just again, it's a small part of MTSS, but it's really important that the students recognize that the staff is all in this together, and that we're participating equally as we go forward. Just that email 2 weeks ago has increased the positive recognition behaviors, about 80%. But we still have a few staff members that are not scanning at all. And I'm just asking you to come on board and participate the rest of the year. Eric's going to touch on a little bit later about some of the grade level rewards that are going to be in place as we hit the end of the school year, as well as some other interesting ideas with rewards as well. I did want to touch base on passes for students between classes. So really critical at this point in the school year that students have a pass when they're in the hallway. Okay, whether that's a handwritten pass or the teacher pass. And Linda's got some ideas on how to handle passes next semester or next fall that she'll touch base on at the end of the staff meeting today. But do not send students in the hallway that are that do not have a pass or do not have a marking on it, and so we know have some identification on where they're from. So that's quite a bit of different pieces. I did send out a Google invite yesterday for the due date for student growth. You still have about a month or so until that's due, but you need to be thinking about it, and it has to be uploaded in stages by I think it's May 22nd. You also should be adding your final milestones to your growth or your goals. So be doing that and kind of taking care of those pieces. And like I said, let's finish strong. I can't tell you how appreciative I am of folks jumping in this week and covering for staff members when they were, out at training or different pieces. Everybody kind of sharing the load, and that's really what it's all about. That's what makes our school so awesome. Being a small school and stepping up and covering, different pieces and places. As we see fit. So very positive things, and like I said, I can't thank you enough. Mrs. Miranda is going to meet with any of those. She's going to start a small committee, um, a group that's going to look at our orientation process and even look at possibility of adding like photos be taken at orientation that would combine their badges that can be printed like on site the moment they take their photos, and then that way they have them, in their hand for the rest of the year, and we could, do some creative things with those. So, anyways, that is kind of my update at this point. Keep an eye on the assessment schedules. We have meet assessments coming up and kind of transitioning grades, and we will kind of keep on forward. Thank you again for all you do, guys. Have a great weekend.